So it's one of the few moments of this part of the battle that goes well for the Union. Remember, they're getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back.
The 6th Wisconsin Regiment was formed at Camp Randall in Madison, Wisconsin. It was brought into service on July 16, 1861. However, the regiment didn't actually leave Wisconsin until July 28, 1861, when they left for Washington, D.C. Throughout the war, the regiment moved from Washington, D.C. through Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Kentucky. While staying in Washington, D.C., the 6th Regiment participated in the defense of D.C. They also fought at the Second Battle of Bull Run, Antietam, Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, and Gettysburg. When the regiment traveled to Gettysburg, the heat of the battle was yet to come.
Day 1 in Gettysburg. The date is July 1st, 1863, and the battlefield is sweltering hot. General Lee's troops push into Gettysburg. Lee's army meets the Union under Major General John F. Reynolds. As they grow closer, the Union line retreats south. Throughout the morning into the afternoon, they continue to fall back. Confederate regiments consisting of North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee troops push south into Gettysburg. General John F. Reynolds and specific regiments of Michigan, Wyoming, Illinois, New York, and Pennsylvania attempted to fight back, but they were outnumbered by Lee's army.
The Southern Confederates continued to push south and take over the town of Gettysburg. It was all downhill for the regiments of Illinois, Wisconsin, Mississippi, New York, and Pennsylvania. Regiments such as the 14th Brooklyn and 147th New York retreated. Many men were killed or captured as war prisoners. That morning, one regiment was late to the party, the 6th Wisconsin.
Lieutenant Gilbert M. Woodward gave an order to Colonel Dawes, the regiment captain of the 6th Wisconsin.
Colonel, form your line and prepare for action.
The 6th Regiment did so. However, this regiment was not facing the Confederate alone. They were part of the larger Iron Brigade consisting of the 2nd Wisconsin, the 7th and 19th Indiana, the 24th Michigan, and Battery B of the 4th U.S. Light Artillery.
Southwest of the Chambersburg Pike, the brigade needed to face Joseph Davis's well-equipped crew, consisting of members of the 42nd Mississippi, 2nd Mississippi, and the 55th North Carolina. Colonel George H. Biddle of the 95th New York and Colonel Edward Fowler of the 14th Brooklyn stare at the horizon in sheer panic. Davis's men are growing closer. Then, as almost a saving blessing, the Iron Brigade meets the 2 Union regiments in the fields facing Davis. It is at that moment that Rufus Dawes, the commander of the 6th Wisconsin, received an order from General Doubleday, the new head after Reynolds was murdered earlier that day.
Hold and start firing.
Dawes did so. His men halted at a fence and began to prepare their muskets for fire. It was then that they began to unleash hell onto Davis's troops.
As Dawes' men were firing, Dawes realized there was a trench-like cut in the railroad line his men could dive into. The colonel began debating with the 95th New York leader, General Sir Colin Halkett, if they should push forth. The question was to either fall back like the rest of the regiments that day, or to face death in front of them and push forward. They elected to charge. The men of the 6th Wisconsin charged across the field. Lead bullets flew past their heads, killing some of them. They dove into the trench provided by the railroad cut and prepared for fire.
Rufus Dawes is charging on his horse. His horse is struck with a bullet, entering through the horse's breast. Dawes urgently hops off his horse and leads his men by foot. Well, my horse was shot from under me early in the fight, which perhaps saved my life. The experience of the past few days seemed more like a horrible dream than reality. Oh, may God save me and my men from any more such trials. I could tell 1,000 stories of their heroism. One young man, Corporal James Kelly of Company B, shot through the breast,
came staggering up to me before he fell and opening his shirt to show the wound.
James Kelly, Dawes' troop, gets shot brutally. He tells Dawes to tell his family that he died a soldier, honorably.
Please, Commander Dawes, tell my parents back home, tell them I died like a soldier.
Louis Eggleston, the drummer of the regiment, is beneath the railroad cut. The American Wisconsin flag is lying in the trench with them. He makes a run for it to grab the flag. While running, a Confederate soldier, likely of the 2nd Mississippi, lines him up in his sights. But fellow comrade John O. Johnson does his best to defend Eggleston. But it is no use. The drummer boy has died a glorious death.
6th Wisconsin continues to shoot inside the railroad cut. Dawes is charged into the railroad headquarters. 2nd Mississippi soldiers continue to fall. Frank Waller, a 6th Wisconsin soldier, takes the Confederate flag and stomps on it, as his brother Sam provides cover fire. Sam Waller takes the butt of his gun and smacks a Confederate soldier in the face, killing him. The Union soldiers continue to provide fire, and Dawes demands the surrender of the 2nd Mississippi. Although the fighting was brief, Dawes is one of the very few men to capture a regiment on day one. It is estimated that 87 2nd Mississippians were captured during 6th Wisconsin's push. Of the 49 2nd Mississippi soldiers fighting at Gettysburg, it estimated that more than 45% were disabled. In total, of the 340 men fighting under the 6th Wisconsin at Gettysburg, 30 died, 116 were wounded, and 22 went missing. Although the Union Army as a whole ended up losing day one at Gettysburg, Dawes' men showed great courage.